I have not done this in a while, and I'm excited. Let's get to the phrase game. Now, this is where I'll name a team, particularly a contender in the AFC first, do NFC second, and I'll just come out with whatever phrase that comes right into my head. Let's get it started with our Kansas City Chiefs. And I mentioned it earlier in the pod. We own y'all's ass. Self-explanatory. Moving on to the Chargers. Humble yourselves. Yeah, ain't so easy being up at the top, is it? Huh? You go into New York, where you're supposed to win. This is according to everybody else, where you're supposed to beat Jackson Dart in his first start with the New York Football Giants. Now, the Chargers did lose another tackle, Joe Alt, which definitely alters your game plan and alters your strategy on offense a little bit. But, yeah, y'all was feeling your britches a little bit too much the first couple weeks. Buffalo Bills, lollygagging. What are you doing struggling, first off, with the Dolphins and struggling with the Saints? Both of them at home? Y'all playing around in Buffalo, and you mess around and gonna get caught by the Chiefs. The Jaguars, young and fast. It's as simple as that, man. They look exciting. They look like just a bunch of Ferraris and Teslas on the field, just moving around everywhere. But that looks like a young and exciting team, though, they got in Jacksonville. The Indianapolis Colts, legitimate irritants. Look, they have everything that you need to be a spoiler in the playoffs. To me, the Colts do. They got a tough-ass defense. They got a mean-ass running game, one of the best backs in the league, Jonathan Taylor. And they have a very efficient passing game with the play action. Daniel Jones is just going in there and doing his job. The thing with that, though, is it could be a simplified playbook that you could figure out on the defensive side. Like I'm thinking about with Spags. I think he could figure it out how to stop the Colts. But, man, it's going to take a lot of effort because they do a lot of things well. They do a lot of fundamentals well. So I can see the Colts definitely surprising somebody and knocking somebody off in the first round in the playoffs. The Steelers, just wait on it. The collapse is coming. They're not making the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers looks okay now. He looks fine now. But just wait till November and December gets here and people really start figuring out how to defend the Pittsburgh Steelers. They look okay now. I'm not hating. They look okay. But just wait on it. The Broncos, under construction. To me, they're kind of the opposite of the Steelers. I think as the season goes on, they'll get better. Now, you just saw them beat up on the Bengals on Monday Night Football, but the Bengals are a little toothless. But to hold a team with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins to only 3 points, that says something about your defense. So I think Denver is going to get better as the season goes on. Speaking of the Bengals, not about to do a damn thing. Look, I guess it's obvious now that this team rides and dies with Big Toe Joe Burrow. But Browning ain't doing nothing with these spectacular receivers that he has, with this efficient-ass offense that he has. He's not doing anything. And by the time Burrow gets back, it's going to be way too late. They're going to have 6 or 7 losses by that time. They'll be out of the playoff hunt. So, yeah, definitely not expecting the Bengals to be playing some January or February football this year. Patriots, Bumbleitis. So if you saw the game that the Patriots had against the Steelers, you saw that they had a number of fumbles in the red zone. Mainly Ramondre Stevenson having a lot of fumbles. But they could have beat the Steelers at home. And if that were to happen, they will be 3-1 right now. So I think the Patriots are probably the best team that nobody's really talking about right now. The Houston Texans, called it. I told y'all before the season, I saw a steep fall off for this team. I don't believe in C.J. Stroud. The defense is good. The defense is a monster. But that offense is garbage. No running game. The only thing you have as a legitimate weapon is Nico Collins. Tank Dell is hurt. Christian Kirk ain't doing what he's supposed to be doing. Look, man, that offense is putrid. The offensive line is trash. Nothing to brag about with the Texans. They're not making the playoffs at all. They got to go through Indianapolis and Jacksonville in their own division. You can forget about it. And the Baltimore Ravens, decimated. It's only so many injuries your team can take on, bro. You see it with the Chiefs. I mean, you see it with any NFL team. The 49ers is probably a good comparison because they usually have a lot of injuries on their team. But man, when you take away some of your best defenders, I'm surprised that the Ravens were hanging on to those games earlier in the season the way they were with the amount of injuries that they had. So yeah, honestly, I kind of feel bad for the Ravens because of what they're going through, but all is not lost yet. With all that being said, they're still only a couple of games out from the first place Steelers in their division. But man, they got a long road to go, and they're gonna need a lot of reinforcements back. All right, let's switch it up to the NFC. Starting with the Eagles, still the champions. You got to respect those guys. They're getting it done in close games, kind of looking like how the Chiefs have been looking like the past couple years. But it's something off about Philly. It's something ain't clicking all the way right, especially with their wide receivers. I think you could feel a little tension in the team a little bit through the TV screen when they play. We'll see what they do against the Broncos this week. The Rams, they'll beat the Eagles. They play again in the playoffs, and I don't care where it's at. Philly, LA, Scotland, Ireland, wherever. The Rams are going to beat the Eagles the next time they play. And you already know that's my Super Bowl team, too, to go against the Chiefs. Chiefs, Rams, Super Bowl 60 in San Francisco. Moving on to the Buccaneers. Not quite there yet. And I think that's mainly due to now the injury of Mike Evans. They fought back against the Eagles in that second half. And you could tell that the Buccaneers were just missing that next level. And Mike Evans is that. Now, still a solid wide receiver room with Ibuka emerging as a rookie, but Mike Evans done had how many consecutive years with 1,000 yards? I just mentioned this team and their history of injuries, but the 49ers, injuries always an issue. It's every year, and I don't know if it's a Kyle Shanahan practice. Maybe they're doing too many Oklahoma drills or something. Maybe they train too much. I don't know. But injuries have steadily been an issue every single year of Kyle Shanahan's tenure as a 49ers coach. And the times that they were their most healthiest, that's when they were their best. They played us in the Super Bowl 54, and they were pretty healthy that year. As well as the Super Bowl, what was that, 4 years later. They came into that game pretty healthy. But these injuries always take a toll on the 49ers. And when they come in waves with them, man. So, yeah, another team that I feel bad for. The Green Bay Packers. Fraud alert. I had high hopes for the Packers, and I still think that they're a pretty damn good team. But that defense was a little overrated the first 2 weeks that everybody was talking about the Packers, and maybe it's because of what they did to Detroit week 1, and of course the addition of Michael Parsons or whatever. But allowing a 40 burger to Dallas on Sunday Night Football when you're supposed to go in and dominate them, and then you tie them, fraud alert for the Packers. The Detroit Lions, still not a legit threat to me. I can't buy into the Lions all the way. Maybe it's a quarterback, Jared Goff, that I never really fully believed in. I don't fully believe in their scheme, and it's just a mentality of that team. I'm not a fan of it. I feel like there's some big bullies who like to blow people out, blow the terrible teams out. And then, they get blown out by the Commanders last year, which that was a game that I thoroughly enjoyed in a divisional round. But I just think that Detroit is not built to have sustained long-term success. Definitely not Super Bowl worthy to me. I think they'll get figured out in the playoffs like they did last year. The Commanders, just wait on Jaden. Still a good team without Jaden Daniels, but clearly he puts them over the top, and he's the machine that keeps that Commanders offense moving. The Seahawks, a dangerous threat. The Seahawks kind of remind me of the Colts. They like the NFC version of the Colts. I think they're going to be very, very irritating. But their Achilles heel, though, to me, and what will hold them back, especially in the playoffs, we saw it last year with the Vikings. Sam Darnold. He just ain't built for big games and primetime moments. Moving on to the Vikings, close but no cigar. I like the Vikings a lot. I think their defense is going to be plastering teams all throughout the year. All they need is a little help from that O. And Carson Wentz, and they need JJ McCarthy back in there ASAP. Now, high ankle sprain is difficult to come back from, but I like to see JJ McCarthy develop more in that offense to help that defense out a little more. Because if you just give that defense just a little bit of breathing room, I got a feeling that Minnesota could be a dangerous team. The Falcons, I'm confused. I see them doing the exact same thing as last year, coming down to maybe the last game, maybe to try to snatch a playoff spot, or maybe they're playing spoiler at that time. But I see 9-8 or 8-9 written all over the Falcons right now. The Cardinals, surprise, but that's truly how I feel about them. More strongly on the side than the other side, because Kyler Murray it's like defensive coordinators know how to bottle Kyler Murray up so easily in games that matter the most. And I thought they fought hard in every one of their games this year, but losing James Conner is going to have a big impact on the Cardinals, and I got a feeling it ain't going to be a good one. And then my last one for the phrase game is the Chicago Bears. Building each week. See, I look for progress when I see improvements on teams. It could be small progress. Really, with the Bears, you just want to see rhythm. You want to see, Caleb Williams actually coming down in these clutch situations and winning some games. And he's done it the past couple weeks. And I think that's another team that'll be much stronger at the end of the season than what you're seeing right now.